Is it mainly people who are spiritually aware that might inquire from you about Vastu? Has any big clients come sort of saying, hey, we're going to build something really massive? And
Well, the biggest customer I had was a businessman in Sydney who had several furniture businesses. It was all spread over Sydney, over the suburbs, and he had about 5 or 6 shops, and his house as well. His house was the main problem actually. And so he asked me to come to Sydney and check it out for him. So I did. I flew over to Sydney for the day, and we went first to his house and we checked it out, and he would really want to move out the house, but his wife didn't want to leave, so she was really attached to staying there. And the main problem for his business problems was actually the house, because the house had a south main entrance and the slope was wrong, and it had so many signs of him failing in his business, like having financial losses and things like that.
seriously, so the study of the Vastu of the house, according to this science, could bring an outcome that he's going to have trouble with his business from his place of residence.
Yeah.
It's totally amazing.
Yeah, it is. So we spoke all together with his wife as well, so then they decided to buy all the corrections tools that were possible to do that, because his wife preferred to stay there, and they were just about to break up their marriage, and I told them, don't do that, just try and work it out together. And so they did. They bought all the yantras, they bought the Vastu pyramid and the mirror chakra, everything to make it correct. So together the combination can correct up to 98% of defects, which is very big.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so it's very successful. Although I have to say, I always prefer it to be, the correct as a building and as with the slope and everything.
So you just mentioned the word pyramid. Can we shift maybe from the yantras? Although there's something I would like to ask. So this particular subject I'm studying from the Western point of view is called sacred geometry. So these are geometries, and I can see Sanskrit, evidence of the Sanskrit language there.
Yeah.
Is that sacred geometry?
There is sacred geometry used in developing the yantras, yes, definitely. And also mantras, colors, and so the combination of that has formed the yantra. But the yantras are all described in the Vedas as well. So they're not just someone's,
Imagination.
They're not imaginations.
So it's not just pretty pictures in any way, shape or form.
No, they're not. Definitely.
They are actually shields in some way. They're like a force field.
Yeah, they definitely have a really powerful energy, and I've experienced with people that that they could definitely feel the difference, and so I've had feedback from several people. Yeah, so it's really good. And
well, let's look at the basics of your. You mentioned pyramids, so let's get back to our little your special board. Yeah, so if you want to bring that forward, and then just place it on the floor. I'll just reposition the camera, perhaps. That's what I'll do. It's okay. You just jump down there. Place it just. Well, more right there. That's it. Perfect. Don't worry. I'll just get my camera and just shimmy it around. I'll get some shots later. Okie doke. So this is absolutely wonderful. I was quite surprised when I saw it for the first time. Please explain.
Yeah, so this is the Vasati pyramid.
Vasati?
Vasati. Yeah, Vasati is used, my teacher actually started using it because He called it the Vastu pyramid, but it's a bit of politics.
Okay.
My teacher was very successful in Germany. He was using the correction tools, this and the Mera Chakra and the yantras, and he became very successful. But there was also, from the Maharishi, was also some people that practice Vastu. And they were not happy with him using this as Vastu correction tools. So they took him to court. Yeah. And then anyway, he had to change the name of Vastu, so he called it Vasati, which means house. So they're house correction tools.
Okay, so that's very nice. Renamed.
Yeah, renamed. So in the center of this, there's Vastu Purush.
Vastu.
And Vastu Purush is with his head to the northeast, which is here. In this, in our house. Then there's all little yantras and pyramids to strengthen the energy of the yantras. So, and here's again the eastern yantra. And so all the yantras that we use, they're in the Vastu pyramid with little pyramids on top. And the base of this is the Digdosha yantra, which is this yantra.
Yes.
And it's used in Vastu to correct when there's rooms in the wrong directions, you can use this yantra. So it's actually Dig means direction.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a direction yantra. So the base is actually made like that.
I see. That's
Yeah.
okay. Perfect.
But it's then three-dimensional, the Vasati pyramid. So,
So primarily what I can see here is we've got one pyramid and then we've got 8 directions.
yeah.
And Vastu has to be placed on the diagonal,
Yeah, so if you...
northeast, southwest diagonal.
Yes. Well, this is installed with, you can do it with a fire ceremony, which is good, but you can do it without as well. And then,
So you can actually install something like this in your home.
yeah, in your home or in your work. I've had amazing success with it. I had a lady, she had a really big business on the Sunshine Coast, and they had to move vicinity, so, and she actually wanted me to help her then already, with the building and everything, but because of the council regulations, it was just not possible to make a nice Vastu facility for her. So then anyway, she bought the Vastu pyramid, and she moved into the business, and they weren't really having as much success as they had in the older building. So their front door was in the southwest, which should be closed, but it was right where everyone came in, so it wasn't really a good position. But then she decided to put the Vastu pyramid in it, and the Mera Chakra as well, plus the yantras she hung as well. And as soon as she did that, it was just much, much better. Her business, the turnover was much better, and she was also actually making profit, because often you can have a lot of turnover, but there's no profit.
And you're going out the door backwards.
Yeah.
Pyramid, what is the Sanskrit word? Is there a Sanskrit word for that shape?
I don't know.
Okay, so they're just, because we're in a juxtaposition, you don't know Sanskrit perfectly, and there's no Sanskrit teachers, so you're compromised, you had to go to Germany. And what language were you using in that school?
In English, it was
in English,
but not the whole course was translated yet in English. So there was the bachelor, the master, and then the PhD, which I haven't, finished a whole lot yet. But I've done my bachelor. So.
But my point to you, though, is that they're using the word pyramid, which is obviously an English word at this stage, but it's not a Sanskrit word.
No.
So we're not. So what I'm trying to share with you is we haven't yet learned to incorporate the Sanskrit name of that shape into the language of Vastu as
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah.
What's the price? So you can install this as a separate yantra, but is this actually, you don't actually do any divining with it, you know what I mean? It's a countermeasure.
It's installed generally in the center of the building,
Right.
if that's possible. Sometimes it's not possible. A friend of mine bought one and she had little kids walking around, so it wasn't really not practical to do that. So we put it close by the center, but it's somewhere in a safe place, so it wouldn't be knocked over or so. You know? And then you check it with the compass. It has to be lined up with the compass. So that it's lined up with north,
Right.
with the directions. Same for the mirror chakra. It's always done. So, and then you can offer some incense or flowers.
So if you were to install this, would you use an Agni Hotra or some sort of
You can.
Jagya?
Yeah, you can to do that. Yeah, but
Are there special mantras?
yeah, there's a whole paper with it, with all the mantras you have to say to install it.
Look, I'm just going to shift a little bit from this board now, and under your Vastu Yantra, you have a diagram there. Now look at the top one, immediately underneath it.
This one. Oh,
No, top one, immediately under there.
okay.
Which happens to be one of my favourite
Yeah,
designs, my favourite interests.
yeah. That's the Sri Yantra.
So please explain what you know about this diagram.
Well, the Sri Yantra is the king of the yantras. That's what they call it. And the triangles in there, they have the golden means, like you were talking about.
Oh, they've got golden ratio,
Yeah, yeah,
phi ratio.
yeah. So all of them have that in them. And it's represents Sri, so Sri is Lakshmi, so it represents money as well. But it's just very, very powerful yantra. And so the mirror chakra is based on the Sri yantra. So the mirror chakra is the three-dimensional Sri yantra. Shall I get it?
Oh, absolutely, because that's the next stage. This
Yeah.
is, to me, it's like finding the treasure on the beach.